So growing up, we had this kind of unspoken code that men had where, you were the head of the family, you were the breadwinner. A lot of times you were the disciplinarian for children. But you also behaved differently. You were respectful and courteous, opening doors for women and the elderly. And as we've moved through society over time, I think we've kind of lost that. And now you even have the movement of, toxic masculinity, which I think needs to die a quick death because I think it's BS. Let's face it, men and women are built differently. And I don't understand why the younger generations can't have that courtesy and respect that should be there. And I think we've, as men, have allowed society to damper down what we would perceive as being a man. And it's time we stepped up and became men again. And part of that is your responsibilities. If you brought a child into this world, it's your responsibility to take care of that child, to mentor that child, discipline that child. And if you're going to get into a marriage and have a successful marriage, then you need to make that an equitable partnership. This isn't a dictatorship by any stretch. And I think that's one of the reasons that the rate of divorce is so high, because men have kind of lost their identity, and we need to get that back. And I think society will be better for it if we do that. You need to lead by example. I know when I was growing up, there were men in my life that I looked up to, and I emulated that unspoken man code that was out there. And that's kind of how you learn. Men led by example. And let's face it, we don't have that today. And if you do, it's my generation, and then it's gone. And occasionally, it'll amaze me. I will see a younger male opening the car door for the woman that's with him. Not very often, but once in a while I will. And so I know it's still out there in some form or fashion, but I think society has kind of taken a turn and looked down on that type of behavior. And it's a shame, because that's the way society should be. And if you're going to lead by example, that means, treating your family correct, treating strangers correctly. It means when you're at your job, you're professional at your job, you do your job to the best of your ability, not just there to grab a paycheck. And I think that's been lost as well. And part of it is I can understand, because, the days of going to work somewhere and being there for 30 or 40 years, they're gone. They were gone when I got out of high school. So the loyalty to the employees, I think, is gone. But if an employer hires you to do a job and you agree on your salary or your rate of pay, then you need to give 100%. And if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, then you either speak up or you move on. You don't just sit back and let other people carry your weight. That's not being a man. Being a man means you carry your weight. And if more men would do this and be a good example for the younger generations coming up, I think we can correct this ship a little bit, and we can make a little bit of a dent in the direction that society is going, especially when it comes to male leadership. And let's face it, children need both a male and female role model in their lives. And with all of the broken homes that are out there, that's what you hear a lot of, is the father's absent. Why are you absent? You brought him into this world. Now, I understand there are situations where, for whatever reason, they can't be. But I think that's more the exception than the rule. I think there's a lot of men that just disappear and drop off their responsibilities to have a carefree life, while the woman's saddled with raising one or more children on her own. And more often than not, she winds up on welfare, and, the cycle just spirals down. So what do you think? Do we need masculinity back in the world? Have we lost that part of it? I think we have. I think we need it back. Give me a comment. Let's start a discussion about it. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you next time.